Hello YouTube, welcome to another video on the Heart Knows Fitness YouTube channel. I hope you guys are all doing great. Today I wanted to cover a topic that I've covered in a video before on this channel, but I wanted to cover it again just to, well, for one reason is that I had my phone recording the other way, so it wasn't a full screen like how it is now, so that's one. And I just wanted to redo it again just to recover it to any of my new subscribers on here that have seen these videos, and I just so I just wanted to cover this video again for you guys. So this topic was actually a question done to me over on by one of my friends who is currently my neighbor, and the question was, how do I get a flat stomach? How to lose belly fat, right? How to lose belly fat. So this is somebody who has been fit before, who has been through many types of different physical exercises and capabilities and activities, and I believe it was ballet actually. If you guys don't know, those ballet people who do that stuff, they do some pretty intense stuff, stretching, flexibility, mobility, that type of stuff. So definitely something that is challenging. She recently had a child, and is just trying to figure out how to lose this belly fat. So I'm gonna cover a few different things. If I'm not mistaken, it's 3 things. So I'm just gonna begin with the first one, and that is, let's start with nutrition. Okay, so right off the bat, you should know that the foods that you eat affect the way that your body stores fat, right? One of those things, we're going to cover metabolism in a little bit, but one of those things is, of course, just eating clean, eating cleaner foods, healthier foods, more nutrient-dense foods. I personally am a vegan, so I have actually been on a plant-based diet. I have eaten nothing but plants for the past over 2 years now, going on to 3 in a few months actually, and this diet is naturally low in fat, is higher in vitamins and nutrients, and has all of the things essential for you to build muscle, for you to stay healthy. If you are like if you're one thing that it is a little low on is iron. But if you know what types of foods to eat, for example, things like lentils, just know that things like lentils, things like beans, things like what else? Spinach, lentils, and beans have iron in them. So if you're consuming these foods, just you'll be set. Other than that, there's really nothing wrong with a plant-based diet. And there's many benefits that will come from it. One of them is, of course, just being, coming down to your natural body weight, because these foods are naturally lower in calories as well, which means that they're also fuller. They're lower in calories, they're higher in fiber, which means that you're going to stay feeling fuller for longer periods of time. So this diet itself will help you lose belly fat. You'll begin to lose belly fat off, and as well as lose weight. So that's point 1. Okay. The next one that I want to cover is and if you like to eat meat, if you eat meat and you're firmly set it on, that you will not eat a plant-based diet, then the only thing else that I could tell you is to just stay away from all red meats. Stay away from try your hardest to stay away from beef. Try your hardest to stay away from pork. And if I honestly tell you, just eat chicken and just eat fish, like, if anything. And if you are gonna eat meats, just be sure that they're lean. Do turkey, do these types of things. But that's if you just cannot do plant-based. There's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes of a animal-based diet that I'm not gonna cover in this video for time's sake. But plant-based diet will ultimately be healthier and just better for your health in a lot of different ways. So that's that. The next thing that I want to cover is training. Okay, so the style of training that you're training is obviously going to affect your body and the way that it responds and adapts to the way that you're training it. So a lot of people like to go towards cardio, and cardio is a great way to begin, especially if you're a beginner. If you're just beginning to get into exercise and exercising, cardio is a great way to start. For example, I myself was obese at one point in my life, and which I'll cover in a different topic, in a different video. But when I first started out, one of the first things that I started doing that helped me a lot was actually running. And running is of course basic, right? Running, we've been running ever since we were alive, since we were humans. So but so that's a great way to start. Something some people might not know though is that when you're combining higher, how can I say this? When you're putting more energy into a burst of cardio exercise, you're gonna burn more calories than maintaining something like a steady pace for a full say we're doing 10 minutes, right? We're doing 10 minutes of a jog that you do versus 10 minutes of interval cardio training. Now, the interval cardio training is going to burn more calories for you versus just the initial maintenance of the 10 minutes on your regular standard jog. The reason for this is because you're switching in between what you're capable of and then pushing yourself past that for a certain amount of time, and then you're going back down to your regular pace. So a good example of this would be, this is what I started out at very, very first, when I very, very first started out, and that was 10 seconds of sprinting, right? And then going back actually to about 45 seconds to a minute of just jogging. So jogging, right? And if that's too much for you, you could actually, you can go to walking, like if that's a little too much for you, you could do power walk, right? You could do a power walk, you're walking faster than your usual walk, and you're doing that for 45 seconds, and then you jump up to a jog, just a jog, and you do that for 20 seconds, or even 10 seconds, your higher initial push of energy is usually going to be a less time than your standard pace, and that is how this interval cardio training works, and this will burn more calories than your standard cardio. So you can apply this to anything, really, any type of cardio. You could apply this to running, cycling, and any whatever cardio, really, jump roping, whatever it is, you can apply it. So that's the other point that I wanted to mention. But if another one is also a style of training. Also, that's cardio. That's on the cardio side. Now we're going into more of the resistance training side, and the difference between the two is that when you're doing cardio, okay, you're working your heart, so you're strengthening your heart and you're strengthening your endurance, that you're able to maintain, in high levels of energy throughout your day. So that's cardio. And then you have resistance training, which is things like using weights and using bands and that type of stuff, time under tension. That's going to be also for building strength, and it is also strength training, which is a style of resistance training that is going to burn more fat, 40% more fat in the time that you're doing strength training versus cardio. So am I saying that one is better than the other? Not exactly, but it depends on where you are and what your goals are. But yeah, it's good to know that strength training burns 40% more fat than cardio does. So with that being said, I just want to talk a little bit about what strength training is and some basic movements that you can stick to if you're just beginning to get into strength training. So the first thing I want to cover is what strength training is. Okay, so strength training is when you're doing a certain rep range in a certain exercise where you're doing anywhere between 1 to 6 reps at the most. Now, when you're doing this, you're pushing your body to be under a resistance movement mode where it has to really activate multiple muscle fibers in your muscle groups that you're using, and it's best to stick to big body compound movements, which means that you're gonna have to be using a lot of muscles in your body, not just, for example, bicep curls. Or if you're sitting and curling your dumbbell sitting down, that's burning very little calories. It's great if you're a bodybuilder and you're trying to grow your biceps, then that's awesome. You're gonna grow your biceps, and yeah, I mean, bodybuilders will do high reps too. They'll go, for 12, 15 reps, but that's another subject. When you're doing strength training, you want to stick to big body compound movements, which is what's gonna burn more fat because you're using more muscle fibers, and you want to stay at a low rep range of somewhere between 1 to 6 reps. A perfect example of this exercise, of an exercise that would do this, is actually one of my favorites, but at the same time one of my least favorites, because they're freaking hard. But that is the deadlift. Okay, and the deadlift is an exercise that literally uses every single muscle in your body. Literally uses your calves, uses your forearms, biceps, triceps, traps, shoulders, core strength, balance, everything. Your upper back, your lower back, everything works in this exercise. And so if you're doing this exercise, say for 4 sets of 3 to 5 reps, you're gonna burn a lot of calories in this duration of time that you're doing this exercise. Not only during the exercise, but even after it too. You're gonna burn calories even after this, because your metabolism will speed up. Your metabolism will be sped up through this because of these exercises, and your body's gonna ask for more calories because it is working to rebuild the muscle fibers that you have just broken down. But so that is what happens when you strength train. That is one example of a great compound movement exercise. I want to mention 3 to you guys so that you guys can just have a basic understanding here of what exercises for strength training that you could try out. Okay, so the first one is a deadlift, and I have to post up a video of how to do a tutorial on a deadlift. I actually don't have one, but I will sometime soon for you guys. The other one is one that I actually don't do enough, but I actually do, just not enough, and that is squats. Okay, squat is a great exercise too, just like the deadlift, that works every single muscle in your body as well. It works, your hamstrings, your glutes, your quads, your calves, your balance, core. Okay, it's another one of those great overall body compound exercises. So definitely squat. Squat is definitely good. Again, 1 to 6 reps. You want to stick anywhere between the 3 to 5 set range. Okay, so you're going to do 1 to 6 reps, 3 to 5 times. Okay, you're going to take a break of, a rest, of about a minute in between. No more than a minute and a half. And a minute and a half is for those that are pushing for lower reps. So if you're doing 1 to 3 reps, then you should take a rest of about a minute and a half. If you're doing 3 to 6, do only 1 minute. The reason for that is just so that your body has time to recover, to really come back in and lift that same weight. Because if you're doing less reps, you should be using higher weight. So, don't cheat yourself and try and make this easier for you by using a lighter weight and doing lower reps. That's not going to be most effective for you guys. The reason why I'm telling you guys this is that you guys can go into the gym and get your workout done and get the most out of your workout in the time that you're there, so you're not wasting time. So that's the other thing. And I want to mention one more exercise for you guys that's really great. Also, another one of those great full body compound movements, and that is the chin up. Okay, the chin up is an excellent one too. That's also going to work your biceps, your core, your stability, your back, your lats, your traps. Another one of those great exercises. Okay, so chin ups again. If you can't do a chin up with your own body weight, most gyms will have an assisted chin up machine where it has a little flap that comes down and you hook it on, and then it has weight added on it that you can just the weight that you put on it is the weight that's going to be taken off of your body weight. So if you're 100 pounds, you set it on 50, you're going to weigh 50 pounds when you're doing the chin up, and your knees are going to be set on a pad that's moving along with the weight. So that's how that's going to be. If you don't have that, then you can also use resistance bands, which I believe I have a video. I'll find it and link it for you guys somewhere in the description below. Yeah, so those are the 3 exercises, and I want to mention one more thing, and that is fasting. Okay, now fasting is a great way too that I've recently found out that really helps you burn more fat throughout the day, but this is just more like a tool. This is more just like a tool that gives you a little boost. Okay, so I mean, if you're eating enough, if you're at the right deficit, depends again. Like, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to burn fat, or you're trying to stay at the same weight but just burn fat, or depends again on what your goal is. Intermittent fasting is just a tool that you can use to help you boost your fat loss, and weight loss. But depending on your training style, it's gonna favor more towards fat loss. But again, then that's the training style. And basically, what I've been doing for the past month and a half now, I'm gonna say about 1 month and a half that I've been doing this, that has really helped me out. Okay, so there's different types of fasting, but the one that I've been doing is called the 8 to 16 fast. And what that basically means is you're going 16 hours without eating, and you're going 8 hours of eating all of the calories that you need for that day. Okay, so basically a good way to do this, and this is the way that I've been doing it, for the past month and a half now, and that is, don't eat past, say for me, it's 10 o'clock, right? So 10 o'clock comes, I don't consume any more calories, and then I go to sleep, and then I wake up for work, and that's usually around, let me see, okay, so 10, right? So we're doing 16, right? 16 hours of not eating. So it's 10 o'clock, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 o'clock comes, it's already 10 hours, right? So it's 8 in the morning, and 10 hours have passed. Now you only got to hold up for 6 more hours, and then you can begin to get all of your calories in. So from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 2 o'clock in the afternoon comes, you're set. From 2 to 10, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., I consume all of the calories that I need for that day, and that's something that you could do too. But you can switch up those hours depending on your schedule, on how you are. And in between those 16 hours, of course, you can do other things so that you don't, so that you're not like dying, right? And you won't really, it's really, exercising in itself is already a psychological strength thing. You gotta be strong enough to say, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna do this, and then you gotta load up the weight, and then you gotta put yourself under the resistance. So that's already a psychological thing. It's the same thing with the nutritional side as well. By you doing this, there's a lot of things going on inside of your body. One of those things is also speeding up metabolism. The good thing about speeding up metabolism is that metabolism is gonna burn more calories during the time that you're doing this, because your body begins to get hungry. It begins to look for sources, for energy, and depending on your style of training, it's gonna favor towards fat. So the reason why I mention it in this video is because it's gonna favor towards fat. So if you strength training, do fasting, and then this and the other, this is gonna help you immensely in your belly fat loss journey. So what could you do during those 16 hours? Okay, well, I mean, I do water. I drink water during those times. I actually do coffee too, you know. If I ever do consume calories, and you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes I have broken my fast throughout these times just because, you know, like sometimes I get like really, really hungry, you know, like sometimes I will because, you know, for example, days that I do really heavy compound exercise movements, like for example, deadlifts, when I do deadlifts or when I do squats or when I work out my legs, I usually tend to be hungrier the next day or two afterwards because your body is just your body spikes up the metabolism for the duration of those days, and it takes time for your body for those muscles to rebuild and recover. So you know they ask for more. So you know, sometimes I'll do like, say for example, a Cliff Bar, right, or a banana or a fruit or something in the morning, you know, when I go off to work. But usually I don't, but sometimes I will. But I mean, if you're like me and you like to, you know, drink coffee, you like to drink water, you know, I even do diet soda. Diet soda is very low in calories. Um, you know, so those are like things that can help you, like, you know, keep your sanity in between those 16 hours of fasting. That's going to help you out, to help you burn more fat, burn more calories, and lose more belly fat in the time that you're doing this. So that's it, guys. That's it for this video. Just to recap, that is plant-based dieting, right? Plant-based dieting, strength training and interval cardio training, and intermittent fasting. Okay? So follow these 3 things and you are guaranteed to see results if you just follow those guidelines, okay? I do hope that this video helped you out. If it did, please like it, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have any comments, feel free to comment. And I'll leave other social media pages down in the description so that you guys can see more of what I got going on, because I have more stuff going on. For example, Instagram, right? Instagram, Heart Knows Fitness as well. That's it. See you.